Welcome to Modern Business, the show that bridges the gap between viewer and entrepreneur. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and today we are joined by Jacob Moore. Jacob is the owner and operator of the Hemp Spot, Canada's one-stop shop for all things Canadian hemp. Welcome to the show, Jacob.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
I'm so glad you think so.
Yes.
So, in your own words, what is the Hemp Spot?
Yeah, so the Hemp Spot, actually you just said it perfect there. It is Canada's one-stop shop for all things Canadian hemp. So that means from fabrics, bath and body products, food and supplements, accessories, anything made from hemp, which is also Canadian made or grown from Canadian farmers, will hold. So we have a bit of our own products as well as a few Canadian hemp farmers products and some small Canadian hemp businesses.
And when did you guys launch?
We opened up and started everything in 2018, and we've been going strong ever since.
Amazing.
Yes.
Now, I have to ask this because it's very niche. Why hemp?
Yeah, for me, it's a bit of a unique story because I didn't really know what hemp was before 2018 either. Unfortunately, I had some health conditions, autoimmune condition called AS, ankylosing spondylitis, which is just basically I have back pain that I have to deal with. So back in the day, I needed to, well, for one, find some relief, and I wanted to find natural relief. Like I didn't want to take Tylenol, I didn't want to pop pills, or take even some like I guess you call them like prescription creams that can help. I didn't want that either, so I just thought, let's look for natural. From there, I was finding other brands, but I came across a hemp pain stick. I didn't know what that was or anything, and I started talking. I reached out to the company, and we talked back and forth, and they explained to me what it is, and it's basically just hemp seed oil used in a pain stick. I used that on myself, loved it, and from there, I was talking with the same company and asked like what other products, and they ended up showing lotions and food products. The list kind of kept going on from there.
So throughout your own journey, finding your own relief for your own conditions, you opened up a store originally selling other people's products, right? Other businesses' products.
Correct, yeah. Like at the very first, yes, I went and found other, we'll say farmers' products that they're making, basically just selling on their farm or through social media maybe. I brought them into like a one-stop shop and started teaching people why they're good and why you should use them. From there though, I started to create some of my own products as well, because I started seeing what would be needed, how it can be used in everything, from fabrics or hemp seed oil. Even right here, like this is the fabric, this is a tea towel. And this tea towel is made from hemp, so it's not made from cotton or any other fabric. Absolutely, yes.
It feels like a cotton tea towel,
exactly, but it's not. Yeah, so it's more beneficial to kind of grow hemp and use it for things like that instead of growing cotton.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I heard you say that this cannot catch on fire.
Yeah,
it's
so we call
flammable?
a lot of the fabrics that are produced from hemp, the hemp plant, they're flame resistant, mold and mildew resistant. They end up kind of becoming stronger but softer the more you wash it and use it. So the more you use it, the better it gets, these guys.
Very cool. And I see you have another product there as well that I would never think is hemp.
Yes, this is a dog toy that a Canadian hemp farmer, so I don't do this one per se myself. This is a Canadian hemp farmer out in Niagara Falls area. He has done a hemp-based rope. So this rope here is the hemp part of the product. And what that means is, once again, it's mold and mildew resistant. It's super strong compared to other ropes, but it's edible, so digestible for the dog. So you don't have to worry about them eating rope when they're eating this.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I guess that dog toy would be a great example of the types of products that you're originally selling in your store, right? Other farmers' products that they were creating and innovating. Correct. Now, I'm assuming you did this because you wanted to create accessibility for hemp. Was that an issue for you?
Yeah, so when I was happy and pleased with the pain stick I found, I wanted to just see what else, since the farmer told me it can do everything, I wanted to see what else was on the market. And it was really, really hard to find different companies or farmers that were like posting or had a website that showed product. So I could barely find any, and it took a while, years still, of talking and getting connections to find the little hemp farmer in Barrie, Ontario, who's doing a rope toy or who's doing tea towels. It took me a while to find them. So when I realized how hard it is to find everyone, why not bring it all to one spot so everyone can just come to us and see everything that is available in Canada?
So talk to us about how you started to source those people. How did you find the small farmer in Barrie, Ontario?
Yeah, it ended up just being word of mouth. For me, luckily, hemp isn't that popular, so my name got out there, not that quick, but quick enough where a lot of them eventually started reaching out to me. So they found my number, my website online, and would reach out to me and go, hey, like, I live in Nova Scotia, and this is what I do. Would you like it? And I would say yes to almost everyone early on, because I just wanted, I had, I think, 88 different products and I made maybe 20 tops myself.
Wow.
So it was, yeah, I was finding more. Now it's maybe 50. We're down to 50.
So when you have those businesses reach out to you, or you reached out to those businesses, were you doing a wholesale deal with them? How were you getting that material to your shop?
Exactly that, yeah.
Okay.
We figured out our own little system because a lot of them haven't even got them in other stores per se yet. So I talked with all of them, and well, what they were wanting was a wholesale. Buy a certain amount at a certain discount and then sell it as a normal retail price. So I went in and we started doing that. Honestly, with the companies, a lot of them, we created our own little system because they didn't even have one yet.
Wow.
Some people like to give products and say, like, you have to pay in 30 days or 60 days. Me, it's all up front. I like to make sure the farmers have their money. Now it's my job to sell.
And how did you have that capital to do that in the beginning?
Yeah, luckily I was good at saving young
good.
at my other jobs that I did. And when I first started, I had another job. I still had my full-time job, well, part-time, but full-time hours.
Sure.
And I was using my savings, I guess, to start this up. And I'd say, yeah, I had other savings just from throughout my life.
So you really funded it on your own. You didn't have a third-party investor or anything like that?
Exactly, no. Like, I had to do it all myself. Even if I wanted an investor, an investment, or a loan, maybe a grant, we didn't qualify for any of them because of hemp.
Right.
There's a lot of misconceptions with hemp, not so per se in the government, but with like other companies, like an investment company
Sure.
or a bank and stuff like that.
So I guess that brings us to a really important conversation. People watching this might be thinking, what's the difference between hemp and cannabis? Can you tell us?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So legally, how they describe it is hemp has to be grown with under 0.03% THC in its whole DNA. How they differentiate that, or how, if let's say I'm a Canadian hemp farmer, how I will kind of figure this out is on the government website. If you're a hemp farmer, there'll be a whole section there that shows you, I believe now it's 52 different seeds that you can buy from them in probably packages of like hundreds, because you have a whole field that you need to kind of grow the hemp. Those are all like predetermined that no matter how you grow them, it'll be under the 0.03% THC. It will never go above. So you just pick between those 52. You can talk to other farmers. Maybe 10 of those seeds are great for food and supplements. The other 10 are great for fabrics and fiber. And the other 10 might be used for oils or CBD and stuff like that.
So when it comes to the actual hemp plant, does it look like a cannabis plant? And is that where the misconstrued conception came from? Or, where do you think it all stems from that they get lumped together? Yeah,
so, well, first I'll say the look of them is actually surprisingly different. Like, we'll say the marijuana, the plant, I guess, is roughly tops maybe 8 feet tall and like really wide, like a bush. The hemp plant will grow about 18 to 20 feet tall, not have much, we'll call it like branches with leaves. It's more of a thick stalk kind of stem that grows like a weed, straight up.
So they're really different. They're not even from the same plant. It's really just that THC component that's the parallel between the two?
Correct, yeah. Like the government unfortunately grouped them together years ago. It became legal. Hemp became legal in Canada since 1990.
Okay.
And we know marijuana, I believe, was since 2018, I believe. So it shows there that they're two different entities right there. But they grouped them in together years ago when they made marijuana illegal. My personal opinion is because hemp was doing too much. A lot of the other industries got mad with hemp. The oil industry, the cotton industry, all of them. Henry Ford, he actually made a car made out of hemp, running on hemp fuel. And
Very cool.
around when he was done that, it got banned.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that's my opinion. I think something was going on
Your
there.
little theory there.
Yeah.
I'll leave the viewers to reach out to you for more information on that theory.
Please do, yeah.
So I heard a really great analogy from you about cannabis versus hemp. Would you share that with us?
Yeah, how I teach people, just to know the differences, real short and simple. They're technically, because the government says they're in the same family, but how I teach it is you and your cousin are in the same family, but you and your cousin are completely different people. You have your own feelings, your own personality, you're different people. They're different plants.
I love that because it's so relatable, and you're absolutely correct. You know, we are in the same family, but we're two totally different entities.
Correct.
So hemp should, in theory, be viewed the same way.
Absolutely.
So when you originally started your business, you had a storefront in Ajax. Talk to us a little bit about that journey.
Absolutely, yeah. I first started off, I had a permanent booth at the Pickering flea markets before they shut down. And then from there, I moved into my own storefront in Ajax. I shared it with a local smoothie company, like a healthy shop. So we're kind of doing plant-based health. We're both kind of, it was a great combination.
Cool.
But we moved in, I'd say, a few months before COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, the restaurant, the smoothie shop was only allowed to do curbside pickups, which also made me only do curbside pickups. And it made owning a store a lot tougher than normal.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I had that for maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years, and it unfortunately had to close down. The smoothie shop had to close down, and I didn't want to hold that whole store on my own.
So then you transitioned into an online store?
Correct, yeah. Like during that whole time, I always had my online presence. I was shipping all over Canada, but now we definitely moved strictly online focused, but now a lot of in-person events where I'm talking one-on-one to people at a local rib fest, let's say.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And on that note, we will be right back with Jacob from the Hemp Spot. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Modern Business, the show that bridges the gap between viewer and entrepreneur. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and today we are joined by Jacob Moore, the owner and operator of the Hemp Spot, Canada's one-stop shop for all things Canadian hemp. And I see Jacob shaking his head and going along with it here. Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
So earlier in the episode, you were talking to us about how you originally started this business because of your own personal journey, finding
Correct,
hemp for yourself to help your journey and better your life, if you will.
Yeah.
And in that, you decided to create the Hemp Spot and make it a one-stop shop for products. And in that journey, somewhere along the line, you decided to start making your own hemp-based products.
Yeah, correct, yes.
Talk us through that endeavor, because I couldn't imagine waking up one day and going, I'm going to make things with hemp.
Yeah, exactly. It took me a while, maybe a year of like selling other people's stuff and realizing, I thought it was extremely hard. I didn't understand it fully until I actually took a class in school about hemp. It was an online one because it was a school out in Calgary. But I did that. It was called hemp processing and procedures. So I started learning after the farming aspect how to do, let's say, soaps and bath bombs and simple lotions, paint sticks. I noticed you use a thing called hemp seed oil. And once I noticed that, hemp seed oil is being used a lot like coconut oil. So if you notice, like there'll be a lot of lotions that use coconut oil, just replace that with hemp seed oil.
Okay.
And it makes the same consistency, the same look. It just adds, for me, like it adds omegas 369, which is just really moisturizing for the skin. So that opened my mind up to like, oh, that's a lot easier than I thought. And I started playing around. That's the bath and body side.
So essentially you became kind of a hemp chemist, if you will,
Yeah,
balancing
exactly.
everything out with your products here.
Yeah.
I know you brought the pain stick, was that your first endeavor into hemp-based products? products, or was it the soap?
I'd say the first thing I personally made would be soaps and play around with a pain stick.
Okay.
Yeah, those were around the exact same time. I had a hemp farmer who was already doing his own kind of pain cream, we'll say, because it was more of a lotion. And I talked with him. He's the one who helped me out a lot with the formulation of the product.
So when it comes to the formulation and the balance, how do you figure that out? Is it literally trial and error, or are there regulations for how much hemp-based product can be in something?
Right, so there's no real regulations. I teach the hemp seed oil. It's like a vegan version of fish oil. So it's just like using fish oil in maybe some skin products, but that sounds a little gross. Like you don't want to smell like fish, but it's a lot like that. It's the plant-based version. So the more the better. It'll just maybe not make the product look so pretty. So you don't want to use too much hemp seed oil in certain products.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And where do you create this stuff?
Yeah, so, well, with the Bath and Body and certain products there, I'll create on my own at my house in the basement, where I have a whole little shop set up, and in my garage. It's like a two-in-one there. I'm doing either in the garage or down in the basement. That's for like the skincare, the Bath and Body. When it comes to food for like the hemp seed hearts, we'll try to rent out local bakeries who have their own little kitchens in the back. And I really only need about an hour, maybe two. And that's where I'll package. I move a big bag of hemp seed hearts into smaller bags of hemp seed hearts. And I like doing it because I have a beard and everything, so I need a big hairnet and a clean facility.
And are there certain regulations for you when you're bottling and preparing these types of products for your store?
So luckily, no. The only regulations we follow are with Durham Health.
Okay.
There's no specific hemp regulations when it comes to, let's say, the hemp seed hearts or the hemp seed oil. From there, you can do what you want with them. You could buy 200 liters of the hemp seed oil if you'd like. If you want it, I can get you that too.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of offerings at the Hemp Spot.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the soap and the bath bombs and stuff, because you're making that out of your house, I'm assuming you have flexibility with the quantity and the volume of product you're going to make for your inventory. But when it comes to the hemp seed hearts and the food-based products where you're renting out those kitchens, how do you know how much you need to make to supplement the inventory? Is there an expiry date on this stuff that you have to be careful of?
Yeah, I had to figure all that out in time. There is an expiry date, but that's where I'm lucky. I'm really close with the hemp farmer who is doing the hemp seed hearts.
Okay.
And so when I get my delivery of them, they're minimum, or I'd say usually always, about a 2-year expiry date. So for food, that's amazing. You don't have to worry about it expiring in 4 months. So I have that 2-year time. I don't ever worry about them being expired. The amount always gets sold before 2 years' time.
That's
It's a few months I'm always reordering. So, and they're super fresh, like how I get them. If there's another brand out there that it's sold in Costco and Sobeys, they're great and all, but their expiry date's probably tops 6 months. So ours are much more fresh because they're coming straight from the farmer.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get them straight from the farmer, do you have to do any kind of processing of those hemp hearts, or is it just direct to the bag?
Yeah, so luckily a lot of the processing and the COAs, or the certificate of analysts, and like all these, what do you call it, like medical terms and stuff too, the farmers have to do. And they have to, let's say they pull their whole crop or the whole field and they have thousands of pounds of the hemp seed hearts, that all gets inspected and gets a certificate. I get the certificate and I got to make sure that everything's a-okay. And then I see even lot numbers in case things go wrong. I know what huge lot number I have. And then from there I can divvy it into the bags and get it out to stores or the people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're housing all of this inventory in your home with your split business model there. Walk us through how that works for you.
Yeah, that's a lot. My garage is not for a car anymore. It is strictly for like holding products on shelves, holding my products that I bring to in-person events, and my setups and my tables and my tents, and all that is in the garage. And there's a little section of like a carpeted area where with a desk and stuff where I'll label, package, sometimes create and make. Depends. In the summer it'll be too hot, but in the winter, yeah, I can be in there. And then the basement is like my shipping facility, my storage as well. It has the same huge shelving units all down there holding tons of product. I have a little section that holds like, I have 50-pound bags of the hemp seed hearts.
Okay.
So I'll have like 10 to 20 of those bags all perfectly like lifted and raised. And same with big jugs of hemp seed, or the hemp seed oil is there too. So it's a mess, to be honest. Like it's organized, but it's like my basement's full, my garage is full. I'm maxed out.
Organized chaos in the
Very
best way
much.
possible.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got the back end. Place an order, you've got it there, you fill the order, you ship it out from your home. Talk to us about the website, building that, putting your products on the site. Are you working with a provider like Shopify or Etsy, or how do you get your product out to the world?
Exactly. Yeah. So the website's a main kind of focus for us too. Still, so 50-50%.
Okay.
So, well, what I needed to do at first, I tried doing my own, the hempspot.ca, and just trying to like code it and everything. I ended up years ago, like 2018, doing Shopify.
Okay.
At first, they were a little tricky with me though, because of the same thing. They thought hemp was marijuana, and they weren't allowing that on their platform. So I had to go back and forth, and I sent pictures of my products. I even tried mailing them products. I'm like, give me an address, I'll mail you these so you can see what they are. It took a while, but eventually they understood, and they let me open up a shop there. So I work with Shopify big time. And then the payment processing is through Shopify now too.
And when you make those feats with a company like Shopify and explain to them and change their mind, how does that feel?
Yeah, it's like you win a huge battle. I know you set a precedent for like there hasn't been too many other ones, but if there's another Canadian hemp company coming up and they go to Shopify now, it'll be approved right away. They don't have to battle, because they can just show, hey, look, the Hemp Spot's on Shopify. So they're huge wins. I have to go do many battles. I've done battles with banks, Shopify, Inperson market organizers, the list goes on.
So with the parallels of cannabis and hemp and how people kind of loop them together, I imagine marketing is a tough thing for you.
Yes, thanks for saying that.
Talk to us about it.
That is right now, that is my biggest battle. We use social media big time. Always trying to post reels, normal posts. We're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, trying to like do everything. But we're not allowed to advertise on any of the platforms yet. A few times I've been able to get a post out, advertised, but it gets pulled in a few days. So it doesn't really get to do anything. It's because, unfortunately, the social media, they still group hemp with marijuana. Other than Meta, Facebook, when I talk to them, they come back and say, oh no, you're allowed to advertise hemp products, but no food-related product. That's in their rules for some reason. So, but I still get flagged. I'll show a bath bomb and it gets pulled in 3 days. So I'm still trying to figure and win that big battle.
So would you say that the in-person events that you're going to are the primary driver of people coming to the Hemp Spot?
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's super key. I'll try to do 50 to 80 events every year to talk to people face to face. I'm doing my own marketing, I guess, doing that too. Instead of handing out business cards, I hand out stickers now.
Okay.
The stickers have our website, my name and everything, but I know that people will keep them. Business cards get tossed a lot. Stickers, people get excited. They even advertise for me by sticking it on their laptop, their bag, their car, wherever people have put them. It kind of shows, and I'm just trying to think of ways like that to get it out.
And I imagine that, word of mouth is also probably something that helps you a lot. You explain to somebody the difference between cannabis and hemp. They buy into hemp. They start buying into your product, and then they're bringing others. Do you see that happen a lot?
Yes, that's exactly like you're saying. I'd say that's a main thing for us too, is the repeat customer, but then how they tell their family and friends to come try it, especially with the pain stick. Once someone tries it and loves it, they'll let us know, but they're also letting, if it's their husband or their wife or their friends or cousins or sisters, brothers, anyone, they're letting them know.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a trade tip for our audience today? A piece of advice that somebody's given you, a piece of advice you like to give other people, or just a general tidbit of information you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, it's not really hemp related. It's for any small business owner, I'd say, because I was told this and now I'm about 5 years in and it's true. I'd say expect up to, or could be a bit less, could be a bit more, around 5 years of loss.
Okay.
What that means is you'll have a lot of ups and downs. So it's like a wave. You're going to have great times, but then low times. But in the whole picture, you can take a step back and go, yeah, you can expect 5 years of loss because of all the money and dedication you have to put back into the business. It'll feel like it's not making money
Sure.
per se, but you are growing and expanding, and you're I always have to take a step back and look at when I started to where I am now. It's a big difference, so I have to remember that. But people do need to know there's a loss. It's not instant gains, instant gratification. There's
Right.
a lot of loss.
Love that.
Yeah.
Now, where can people find you?
Yeah, so website is www.thehempspot.ca. On social medias, Instagram's just the Hemp Spot CA, and everything else is the Hemp Spot.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. This has been another edition of Modern Business. I'm your host, Taylor Bursey, and we'll talk to you next time.